certainly when you go to cathedrals, and not necessarily in parishes, some maybe, but not necessarily in parishes, you have the bishop's throne in the old cathedral downtown, in the new cathedral on Lindell. In huge big churches, you'll always have a throne, and it's only sat in by the ordinary of the diocese or the archdiocese. So down here, it's this big thing, and as you're facing the altar, it's on the left side of the altar. So it'll always have the sitting bishop's coat of arms and his throne. It is the cathedra, cathedra, from which comes cathedral, and cathedra is a chair. And that is the teaching and ruling authority of the sitting bishop. So all cathedrals will have, hence the name, all cathedrals will have a chair. And there's always a special chair, but when the bishop comes, he always sits apart from the presiders.
The bishop's throne demonstrates the importance of religion in 19th century St. Louis. Now some argue that with vast industrialization and shift towards this modern era, that there was a loss in the significance of religion. However, Mark Knight, a professor of religion in Victorian literature, argues in opposition to this perspective. He claims that Christianity adapted its form and message to engage with widespread cultural change, revealing a strong religious presence in this era. And the bishop's throne is one of many pieces in the Cupples house that affirms this argument. Even the details, which are intricately carved into the throne, confirm its religious significance. Look at the central carving. A man lying down has a woman emerging from his ribs, who is pleading with a godlike figure, much larger than the two of them. And in the foreground are apples strewn across the grass, with a coiled snake looking devilishly up towards the man. And this scene most likely depicts Adam and Eve's original sin, a foundational story for many religions. Other carvings and the general architecture of the chair have led historical experts to determine that the style of the throne is French Gothic, a style known for its pointed arches, its religious themes, and mythical creatures, which are all incorporated into this piece. The fleur-de-lis and royal seals point to French influence as well, an influence that the city of St. Louis shares. With the staggering dimensions of 78 inches tall, 34 inches wide, and 23 inches in depth, and with the intricate carvings into the dark oak wood, this chair was designed to impress viewers, and its French Gothic style most definitely inspired wonder at the chair's antique history. Indeed, this throne has a lengthy, puzzling, and profoundly interesting history. Look closely at the St. Louis University Identification Catalog, and you can see how many times the origins of this piece has been refuted. Some claim 14th century origins, others claim 15th century, and still others claim it to be an 18th or 19th century piece with Renaissance style. Finally, a medieval scholar visiting the house noticed that some of the images portrayed on the piece suggested a much later date than the 14th century. And according to Sotheby's, a corporation specializing in collectibles, the throne does indeed have parts dating back to the Renaissance, but the majority was carved in the 19th century. Its current value is estimated to be at $35,000, a testament to the object's significance, uniqueness, and rarity. But how did this throne come to have wood from both the 14th century and the 19th century carved together? And how did a European bishop's throne end up in the home of Samuel Cupples? Most likely, this amazing throne was carved together by a European craftsman to resemble a much older antique. And surely it made for a great sale to a wealthy American looking to bring European style and demonstration of wealth into his home. And it is quite obvious that the chair accomplished this purpose for Samuel Cupples.
Mr. Cupples may just have liked the look of it, and he may have thought that it would go well in the house.
This picture confirms that the bishop's throne is an original piece to the Cupples house, and it is a prime example of a Gilded Age purchase. According to the Slough Manual, the Gilded Age was a term coined by Mark Twain to describe 19th century America as an era when the greed, corruption, poverty, and social injustice was hidden by a radiant veneer that covered up the guilt of the wealthy who did not take action to cure society's ill. He strongly criticized the social disparity present in the 19th century. Wealthy Americans who had profited greatly from industrialization sought to flaunt their wealth by building large homes and enriching them with extravagant pieces of art and furniture, in an effort to give society notice of their new status. And the absolute distinction was ownership of a unique object, according to Sean Cashman in his book, America in the Gilded Age. These pieces of art and furniture are Gilded Age purchases, and the bishop's throne in the Cupples house is a prime example of this. There is no wonder how a chair like this would inspire awe, fascination, and respect for its owner, especially noting its location in a home rather than a church.
The style of life would have been just amazing, eh? With the tunnel under West Pine to the stable.
However, while a few individuals enjoyed a life of luxury, the vast number of people in the urban environment barely made a living. There grew a general feeling of unrest between the lower and upper class, the factory workers, and the elite factory owners. Certainly this social disparity was not too much different than Victorian Manchester. Longman's anthology of British literature thoroughly describes this disparity. While a small percentage of people enjoy the luxuries associated with industrialization, the vast majority felt the trauma of the experience. The clock, rather than the natural rhythms of the seasons, now dictated the working class existence, and the laissez-faire pursuit of profit changed the relations between masters and men. Despite the huge accumulation of national wealth, the gulf between rich and poor had never been wider. It is understandable then why there may have been resentment between lower and upper classes, and when the wealthy sought to display their wealth through extravagant purchases such as that of a bishop's throne, it probably did not help ease these tensions. Ultimately, this remarkable piece gives us today a true sense of what 19th century St. Louis was like. Its French Gothic style emphasizes the French and European influence in St. Louis. Its religious significance and imagery highlight the importance of religion during that time, and the interesting history of the throne and its acquisition by Samuel Cupples highlights the demonstration of wealth in the Gilded Age, a period of immense social and economic disparity.